Good morning, children. So, we are back with our science class, and as I hope you all remember that we were doing chapter 3, that is the excretory system. I remember the last day also I showed you this diagram, and in my last class I explained you about these organs, right? The organs which make up the excretory system. Today what are we going to do? Today we are going to understand the process of excretion. Now in our last class we read that excretory system, through the urethra the excreted out waste material is in the form of liquid waste. So today we are going to learn the process, okay, and then we are going to also talk about a few more types of excretion. So first of all, let's learn the process through the excretory system. Okay. So first of all, this you already know, we are having two kidneys. The ureter, which connects the kidney with the bladder, and the urethra, which is what? The urethra is the opening through which we can easily excrete the waste products from our body. Now you see, children, what happens is our body, you all are having a book with you now? Yes. So that day we talked about the organs. Today we are reading which part? We are reading the I understand part. Okay. So you see, what happens is the blood in our body travels throughout our body, travels through all parts of our body, and it collects all the waste materials. The blood collects all the waste materials from the body. Then what happens is the blood goes into the kidney. See? Now once it is collecting all the waste materials, the blood becomes dirty. See, I am drawing the dirty blood with black ink. Okay. So it goes into the kidney. The dirty blood goes into the kidney. It enters the kidney, right? It enters the kidney. Okay. Now in the kidney what happens is the kidney acts as a filter. Now what is the work of a filter? The filter keeps back all the dirt and gives out pure things, right? Like we all have filters at our home. We have the AquaGuard, we might be having Pureit. There are so many brands, right? So what is the work of that? It gives us pure water. Why do we use that filter? Do we just open the tap and take the water from there? Do we drink that water? No, we don't. We drink the water from the filter only. Why? Because the tap water contains dirt, right? But what does the filter do when it comes out of the filter? It keeps back all the dirt, and what is given to us? It is giving us pure water. Similarly, the work of the kidney is just the same. It works as a filter. The dirty blood enters. The dirty blood from which has collected all the waste materials from the whole of the body, it enters the kidney, and the kidney, what it does? It retains back the dirt particles and gives out pure blood. The pure blood I will be showing you with blue ink. Okay. The dirt is remaining back. The dirt is remaining back and pure blood comes out. And pure blood moves out into the body. Pure blood from the kidney is given out to the body. That is, what is the work of the kidney? The work of the kidney is to purify the blood. What does it do? It purifies the blood. Okay, it cleans the blood. Now, what is left back? The dirt is left back in the kidney or not? The dirt is left back. Now, this dirt mixes with the water. Okay, mixes with the excess water, and it travels from the kidney through the ureter to the bladder. It moves where? it moves through the ureter to the bladder. Okay, this dirt particles is sent to the bladder through the ureter by the kidney. Now you must be thinking, why Mrs. is drawing this blue ink and black ink over here in the bladder? Since it is mixed with water, so the blue obviously shows the water and the black one shows the dirt particles. So, and it keeps on getting collected in the bladder. Now, when the bladder gets half filled, that is when our body wants to throw it out, and that is when we feel like going to the toilet. Okay, last day I told you that when you go and ask your teacher, Miss, may I go to toilet? Yes. So this is when we want to go to the toilet. Okay. And which is the part which helps us in excreting out the waste from our body? It is the urethra. Okay, it is the urethra. Children, I hope you have learned the spellings. So it is the urethra. So this is one form where we are excreting out the waste products in the form of liquid waste. This was one. Now we have another form of excretion. Now what is that form of excretion? We are having excretion through our skin. We have excretion through our skin. Now this was what? This was the excretion of waste in the form of liquid waste. Now this one is also liquid waste. This one is also liquid waste. Now, how does the skin excrete? The skin also excretes. I'll just give you a small hint and think, what is that excretion process? During hot summer days, it happens a lot, and when it happens, we feel very thirsty. You guessed it correct. It is the sweat. So in hot summer days, we sweat a lot, right? So the skin excretes in the process of sweat. Okay, the skin excretes in the process of sweat. In the sweat, all the extra salts, the excessive salts which are not used by our body are given out through the skin. There are small pores in the skin through which the sweat is given out. That is excreted out, right? This is also a form of liquid waste. And that is the reason when we sweat a lot, we feel more thirsty. Why we feel more thirsty? Because our body needs a particular amount of water to be working properly. To work properly, our body needs a particular amount of water. And to maintain that water level, see, while urinating also we are giving out water. While we sweat, that time also we are giving out water. So, what happens is, who helps? So, to maintain the balance of the water in our body, we feel thirsty. When we go to the toilet more, also we feel thirsty. When we sweat more during hot summer days, we feel very thirsty. Now, another form, this was 1, this was 2, and the third form of excretion is excretion through lungs. Excretion through the lungs. Now, how do we excrete through our lungs? How do we excrete through our lungs? Now you all know that we breathe in and we breathe out. When we breathe in, we take pure oxygen. Now, the oxygen does what? The oxygen mixes with the blood in our body and it travels all throughout our body. Okay? The oxygen mixes with the blood and it travels all throughout our body. And when it travels throughout our body, it keeps giving oxygen to the cell to perform better. Every cell is working in our body. Every cell is functioning some particular important work on or other, right? So for that they need the oxygen. So the oxygen mixes with our blood and it travels all throughout our body, and as it travels all throughout our body, the oxygen gets to all the cells, and from the cells the waste materials in the form of carbon dioxide sorry children, in the form of carbon dioxide, the blood takes up the carbon dioxide. Okay, now it comes back to the lungs. We breathe in, we take oxygen, the oxygen goes into the lungs. From the lungs it gets into the blood, travels to the body. Everywhere the oxygen is distributed, and when the oxygen is distributed, what is taken up? Carbon dioxide is taken up. Now the blood with all the carbon dioxide work kidney cannot do. Okay, the carbon dioxide work lungs will have to do. What does the kidney do? The kidney does for the extra salts and minerals which are not useful for us, the excess water. That is what the kidney does. Okay, so it takes up the carbon dioxide, and with all that carbon dioxide the blood comes back to the lungs again. Now from the lungs, the carbon dioxide we breathe out. We breathe out the carbon dioxide through our nose. So this is a form of another excretion. This is another form of excretion. So today how many forms of excretion we learned? Obviously the solid waste part is there, right? The solid waste that is given out from our body, that is obviously there. That is one form of excretion. This is another form of excretion where we urinate. Yes. The third form of excretion is sweating, and the fourth form of excretion is breathing out the carbon dioxide. Okay, it is breathing out the carbon dioxide. Now children, look into your book. Now you see page number 13, I apply. Now before we go to this I apply, I want to say you something very, very important about excretion. Children, excretion is very important in our body. Just like we clean our room every day, we clean our house every day, excretion is also the process of cleaning of the body. Excretion is the process of basically cleaning our body on an everyday basis. And the cleaning of the body does not only occur with the soap and water. That is outside cleaning. Inside cleaning occurs through excretion. It might be in the form of sweat, it might be in the form of solid waste, liquid waste. Breathing is continuously going in, right? Breathing is continuously going on. So, excretion is very, very important to keep ourselves healthy. Excretion is important to keep ourselves healthy, because if we do not clean our body, if the excretion process does not work, what will happen is our body will get filled with the waste products and it won't be able to absorb the useful products from the water and the food that we take. Okay, it won't be able to absorb the useful products. So excretion is very, very important. Now I'll just read out the I apply part. Look into your books. The excretory system removes waste from the body. If it does not work properly, the liquid wastes collect inside the body. This may lead to swelling of the body, especially on the legs, hands and face. If our kidneys don't work properly, the color and the smell of the urine may also change. We may feel tired or we may start vomiting. Now, how do we take care of the excretory organs? Have you heard of any fruit or vegetable that helps to keep our kidneys healthy? Yes, there are various fruits and vegetables which help in keeping our kidneys healthy. First of all, it is the kidney beans, the rajma. Yes, I told you that because for the shape of it being like the kidney, it is also known as the kidney beans. Now, one of the most important work of the rajma or the kidney beans is, it is also known as the kidney beans because it keeps the kidney healthy. It is one important food which keeps our kidney healthy. So we should eat rajma. Also, there are fresh fruits. We should be having much more of fresh, juicy fruits which are rich in vitamin C. That also keeps our kidneys healthy. Also, drink lots of water. Every day, a minimum of 7 to 8 liters of water is very, very important for our body. Okay, for the proper cleaning process of our body. Okay, now, our skin and lungs also perform excretion. We just learned. We should take care of them too. We should bathe regularly to take care of our skin. We should keep it clean using soap and water. That is, the outside cleaning also is important. We must do breathing exercise to keep the lungs healthy. We must protect our lungs from dust and smoke by wearing a mask when we go outside. Now see, we should have worn mask before, but no problem. Now anyway we need to use the mask, right? We will have to be using the mask on a regular basis now. So anyway, we are going to keep our lungs healthy now. Yes? So children, make sure that whenever you go out, you are wearing the mask. Corona or no corona, mask is important. So let's learn some amazing fact. Most humans pee about 3,000 times in a year. On an average, we take 21 seconds to pee. That is about 18 hours a year. So 18 hours of the year, you just spend your time in the toilet, right? Now, what are kidney stones? What are kidney stones? Now, let's just read and understand what are actually kidney stones. Before that, I'm just going to clear out this part so that I can explain you better. Now, these are the solid pieces of salts or minerals formed inside the kidney. They vary in size. When they are small in size, like a grain of salt or sugar, they do not cause any problem. They come out of the body along with the urine. But when they are the size of a pea, they block the ureter. That is, they are not. Since it grows in size, if it is in this size, you see. Now, this is also the reason why drinking of water is very, very important. When you drink enough water, the dirt particles cannot form a stone. Okay, the dirt particles cannot form a stone. But when we do not drink enough water, then what happens? The salt or the minerals, the excess salt or the minerals, they get accumulated. They get together and they form a bigger stone. Now you see children, if the stone is of this shape, this one, the smaller one, it can easily pass through the ureter and it comes out through the urine. But when it gets to this shape, the ureter is quite thin. So, will this be able to fit in over here? Will this be able to fit in? Supposedly it comes, what happens? Here it gets blocked. So, the whole of the ureter gets blocked. And that is when it causes the problem. Now, the work of the ureter is what? The dirt will come down to the bladder through the ureter only. And if it blocks the ureter, what are we going to do? Dirt is going to get accumulated in the kidney. Now, if you all are having filters, right? And you must have seen your parents and all bringing people to clean up the aquaguard or the filter on a regular basis. Why? Because if too much of dirt is collected, then it won't be able to filter. Similarly, here also, if the dirt gets collected, it won't be able to filter, right? And the waste materials will be back in our body. So that is a very dangerous condition, okay? So it is very important that you keep drinking water so that stones are not formed. And even if it is formed, a smaller size is formed, it can be easily given out of your body in the form of through the urine, along with the urine. So they come out of the body along with the urine, but when they are the size of a pea, like this, they block the ureter. This causes pain. Now, kidney stones are formed due to excess salts and minerals in the urine. This may happen if we do not drink enough water. That is what I said right now, yes? So, we should drink plenty of water to avoid the formation of kidney stones. So, this was about the chapter, okay? Children, so we have completed our chapter, excretory system. The explanation part is done and I hope you all are able, you have understood it very properly. Now children, I'm also going to send you some question answers along with today's class. So you are going to write it where? You are going to write it in your question answers copy. Okay? You are going to write it in your question answers copy, and children, please maintain the copy properly because you are going to get marks on the maintenance of the copy as well. And how to maintain the copy? Cover it up, write the date, chapter's name and number. I want the chapter's name and number written like this at the top of the page when you start the writing. Okay, when you start the writing, I want it written. Most of you do not write and just send the question answers. That looks very, very bad. How am I going to know? When you study, how are you going to know how when your chapter 2 has ended and chapter 3 has started? So children, make sure you write the date, chapter's name, number and proper margins. Okay? Proper margins, and then you will be writing. So children, I hope you all have understood very properly. So, thank you and have a great day. In our next class, we are going to talk about the workbook. What are the things that we have learned today? We have learned about the different forms of excretion. Excretion through the urethra, that is the urine. Excretion through the skin, that is the sweat. Excretion through lungs, that is breathing out of carbon dioxide. And we have also learned about the kidney stones and how can we maintain the whole of our body and keep our excretory system healthy? By drinking lots of water and having fresh fruits and vegetables, right? So children, thank you and keep learning.